Most real estate scripts don't work. And why is that? It's primarily because the way that they're taught in real estate and sales is to just memorize these like gigantic blocks of text with like these weird artificial pauses. They don't sound like you. And so what that does is it removes your ability to connect with your clients. And in sales, it's like we need to build rapport and connect, not be acting like robots with these memorized scripts. So I've been doing relationship-based sales for nearly 2 decades at this point, and there are precisely 3 scripts that I still use to this day that actually work. They help me connect, and, I think of we've got 2 jobs as real estate agents, and the first is to lead and command, and the second is to calm and de-escalate. So any interaction with a client or a potential client, I'm thinking about that. I'm like, how can I lead and command and calm and de-escalate and kind of flow between the 2? So 3 scripts, I wrote them down for you. One is called the second opinion script. The second is the before we begin script, and the third is the dream with them script. And so I'm going to break down each of these, how they work, and how to use them. So the first one came up because agents were always coming to me and they would, this happens more with newly licensed agents, but they would ask me, my so and so, my friend, my sibling, whoever already is working with an agent, or maybe it was like a really good vendor or like a relocation partner or somebody like that, like a corporate, like kind of a corporate level relo person they wanted to get in with. And they're like, how do you do that? And in my mind, I'm like, we use the back door, and it's the second opinion script. And so there's a couple variations of it, but I'll share a couple of them. So let's use the situation of, you go to a kid's soccer game and somebody tells you they already have a real estate agent, and you say, that's great. Everybody already typically has their number one agent. All I'm asking is to be your number two in case something happens to your number one or you need a second opinion. Okay. So that's it. So all you're saying, you're just walking in through the back door and you're saying, I know you've got your go to, you could say it like this: I know you've got your go to real estate agent. All I'm asking is that if you ever want or need a second opinion, you come to me, or if something happens to your number one, they retire, get sick, I'm always here for you. And I want you to practice these, right? Because scripts, you should practice them in the mirror and like film, like do what I'm doing, all right? Like film yourself, see what sounds natural to you. And so that is one way that you can do that. So the backdoor script, that will help you get in the door with people that already are quote unquote working with a real estate agent. Then you also have to remember those NAR stats that come out every year. Every year they're approximately the same. It says uh, 80%, 80 to 85% of buyers and sellers would work with the same agent, but only 14% do. So we're talking 85 out of 100 people said, yes, I would work with my same agent again, but only 4 out of 100 end up doing it. So why is that? Agents lose touch, they retire, they get sick, they mentally check out, right? And God forbid some pass away, right? So there's just a big gap there. And so all you want to do is position yourself as the number two and watch how quickly you will become the number one. And so the script is great. I know everybody's probably got their number one person. All I'm asking is that if you ever need a second opinion, you come to me first. You could also say it along the lines of, sounds like you've got your go-to agent. If anything ever happens to them, please consider me your backup. And then what do? You start following up. You put them on your newsletter, get them on your market reports, stay in touch, and then you just know those odds. 85 would work with the same agent, only 14 do. So it's like you've got some room there. So that is the second opinion script. Okay. That one I love. It's helped me get in. Me personally, when I was doing a lot of corporate relocation and like physician recruiter work, they already all had like their go-to real estate brokerages and teams. And so I used this where I was like, I just want to be the backup. And slowly but surely, with follow-up in time, I earned my spot as number one, and business came flooding in from that. So it's a patience script to some extent, but I like to think in decades, not days. And I've been in real estate, like I said, almost 2 decades, and God willing, I'll be in it for another 2 decades. So I got time on my side, and I'm following up anyway. So might as well just crack that back door open with the second opinion script. All right. The second script that I love is called the before we begin script. And this one I love. I use it for buyers, sellers, recruiting, investor meetings, anything. And what it does is it shows people that you're listening, right? And you got to remember, God gave you 2 ears and a mouth to use in that proportion. And so I like to go old school on this one. Like, I'll bring my, um, yellow legal pad, and then I've always gotta be writing with blue pens, okay? So that's just one of my things that I do. And it goes like this: "Before we begin, what questions do you have? I want to make sure I write them down and we go over them today." Okay, so I'll say it again. "Before we begin, what questions do you have? I wanna make sure to write them down and go over them with you today." Okay? So then there's a little bit of magic of how this works. So what they're gonna do, and you're sitting there, right? You're ready to go. And you have to think, like, besides a doctor's appointment, like, when is the last time you were talking to an adult and they're like listening so completely that they're taking notes about what you're saying? And so let's just say it's like a buyer consult. So maybe they'll say, I don't understand like the loan process. How does that work? Okay. And here's the magic. I'm writing this down. So you're gonna say, loan. So you're gonna say, "Okay, what I heard you say is you wanna go over the loan process today. Is that correct?" And they'll say, "Yes." I say, "Great, we'll go over. What else is on your mind?" So we're not solving any of what they say. What we're trying to do is get them to tell us everything that's on their mind, and they're literally, like, serving up their objections on a silver platter to us. So we're gonna say, "Okay, so what else?" And they're going, "Well, I don't know, like, the timeline and the process." And so you say, "Great, so you wanna go over the timeline and process of buying a home, is that right?" "Yes." "Okay. Then what else is on your mind?" And they'll think and they'll say, "How do you get paid?" And you're like, "Okay, great. So you wanna go over how my professional fee is handled. Is that correct?" "Yes." Okay. So then we go, "Is there anything else on your mind?" And finally, we just fatigue them. We keep asking, "What else? What else is on your mind?" until they run out of questions. And then at that point, you repeat everything. So you're gonna say, "Okay, great. We're gonna go through the lenders and the loan process, the timeline and the purchasing process, and then how my professional fee is handled. Does that sound good?" "Yes." Okay. So what you've done, you have to practice this because it's not as easy as it sounds to not answer when somebody asks you a question. So you're gonna say, "Before we begin, what questions do you have so I can make sure I write them down and we go over them today?" And then you're gonna write it down. You wanna talk about lenders. Is that correct? "Yes." "What else is on your mind?" And you need to um, practice going through that, okay? So that's a critical piece of this script. And what's gonna happen here is they're gonna feel it's that, lead and command, calm and de-escalate. They're gonna feel that you are that collected, calm professional that has their best interest at heart, and it shows you're listening, it shows you have a plan, and from, like, the agent, it helps bring down your own anxiety around it, right? Because they're just telling you. They're telling you everything that's on your mind, and then the cool thing about being in the business for long enough is you realize there's only so many objections a seller will give you, there's only so many objections a buyer will give you, and an investor. So it's like you're like, "Okay, oh, duh, I need to know the process on the buy side, the sell side, the MS side." Great, so you practice that. Then the other thing is, you know, is there going to be a commission question? Sure, always. So you need to be prepared to answer these. And that is more how I like to practice scripts, is just writing down things that people say and then practicing my answers in the mirror. But as far as like scripts that I have memorized, it's these three, right? So it's the second opinion script, it is the before we begin script, and then this third one I'm going to share with you is I call it the dream with them script. So um the before we begin script though, guys, that's like hands down my all-time favorite. I've used that forever and ever. It works for everybody. It calms everybody down. It really helps. So that one, if you're only going to practice one out of three and use it, it would be that one. And then the third one, oh, and I wanted to say, I have typed these all up for you so you can download if you don't wanna sit here taking notes, you can just download a copy of what these scripts are, and I'll get that sent over to you. It's in the link below. Okay, so third one, we've got the dream with them script. So what I find with adults is we're just not given enough time to dream and expand and have some fun with our lives. And so when people think about real estate, it kinda it can contract them, right? Like, they get contracted and, it's the financing can be funny, right? Because I always think about, like, when they're working with the lender, it's almost like financially undressing in front of somebody, it can be uncomfortable. They don't know what they don't know. We got to remember as real estate professionals, we do this every day. Most people at most, do about 3 transactions in their entire lifetime. So, kind of want to be a little gentle with that. So, I like to dream with people. And so, a couple ways that I'll do that is if money didn't matter, what kind of home would you purchase? Thinking about the next 10 years, how many rental properties would you like to own? And then even, like, if I can see somebody is on my one of my search portals and, like, say, they're looking for, like, 400 to $500,000 homes, and then all of a sudden they're looking at $1 to $2 million homes, I'll say something about it. I'll be like, "I love dream home shopping. What are you looking at? You like the beach, you like the lake, you like the mountains," whatever it may be. And so just dream with people and just show them that it is okay to be expansive and that their dreams are safe with you, right? Because as adults, like, dreams are not safe with everyone. And so you want to be a person where somebody else's dreams are safe with you. And so I just like to those are two of my favorite ways to do that is like 10 years from now, how many rental properties do you want to own? And you'd be surprised, guys. Like you can do a lot of cool things with clients and turn them into repeat clients, especially if you can show them how to buy rentals and use some of those DSCR loans and some of the other stuff we talk about in coaching. Um, so anyway, so 10 years from now, how many rentals would you own? The other one is if money didn't matter, what type of home would you want? And then even on like just a showing kind of um day-to-day thing, like you're out showing properties, just say like, can you like point stuff out and just be like an outdoor fire pit would look great there. And it's like, how would you entertain in this house? Wouldn't it be nice to, take this wall out and open the kitchen? Like just have some fun with people and dream with them. Um, and it's just like you're saying, it's okay to imagine here. It's okay, like, you're safe. And so that's the other thing too is, like, people need to, trust us and feel safe. So those are my 3 absolute, favorite scripts that I've held on to, right? Because 'Cause I've sat in so many trainings where it's like, memorize this blocks of text, and there's even this one where I'd, like, tap on the sheet and, like, all kinds of weird salespeople stuff. But to me, scripts are helpful as, like, guide rails to do that lead and command, calm and de-escalate thing, and we need to maintain our human connection because you have to remember, whatever is causing somebody to buy or sell real estate, it is a high stress life event. Things like baby on the way, empty nest, marriage, divorce, death, relocation. Like, there's some heavy life stuff going on. So we need to be safe, trustworthy people. And dreaming with people is one of the ways to show that to them. So those are the 3 scripts. So the second opinion script, the before we begin script, and the dream with them script. So I hope you like those. And again, just write stuff down, practice in the mirror, film yourself. It will help. And then if you like this, it resonates with you, I would be honored for you to join my school coaching community, and I will link that for you below as well.